finally, after months of being passed by both sides of Congress, SBIR has been reauthorized. And it was not the easiest thing to get through. It shouldn't have been this hard, but let me tell you the journey of how a bill that everybody supports across the board. It's got bipartisan support in every state. The president likes it. Everybody likes this bill. It's a program that's been around for over 40 years. It lapsed at the end of 2025, as you know, and finally it has been reauthorized. And it's a really big deal for small businesses and the money that's going to be made available to them. So you guys saw me talk about the drama, the House, the Senate, both trying to get this bill over the finish line. There was a few holdups from Joni Ernst's office trying to get the SBIR reauthorization bill reauthorized and approved through both houses of Congress, and they finally were able to cut the deal and do it. However, there's a last piece that has to happen before a bill becomes a law. All you guys remember, your school classes and how this stuff works. The president has to sign the bill to make it a law. Well, President Trump had laid down almost like a red line in the sand that he was not going to sign any more bills. The Save America Act has a whole bunch of voter ID stuff in it. Supposedly that is really popular amongst 80% of the voting bloc on all parties, but Congress, for whatever reason, I have my own opinions on, can't get that one over the finish line. So Trump was really trying to pressure him and say he's not going to sign anything else. Well, this bill passed right around that same time, and Congress didn't actually present the bill to him. So the Speaker of the House never gave the bill, the fully voted on bill, to the president to sign because he was afraid that Trump might veto this super popular bill to make a point on the Save America Act. Now, all this is going on. We're just waiting. We know SBIR's beloved and we want to see it approved too, but he's already made an ultimatum. He's already kind of drawn that line in the sand. So he eventually went and did an executive order that had something to do with the Voting Act, some of the key tenets that were in the Save America Act he was trying to get through and over the finish line. After that happened, I think Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, felt confident enough that he was able to take the bill that was passed that reauthorizes SBIR and finally present it to Trump. April 2nd was the day that Trump got to originally see the bill. Now, there's a weird law that happens for how bills become laws. And one of the things is that if the president doesn't veto a bill and doesn't sign a bill after sitting on the desk for 10 days, that bill becomes a law. So on the 13th of April, the president had done nothing with it. He didn't veto it. He didn't sign it. He did nothing with it. SBIR finally got reauthorized. That's a really big deal and kind of the weirdest way you'd ever think about having SBIR get reauthorized. But now that it's reauthorized, that means the money that has already been carved out of the budgets that's been sitting up at OSC SBIR Sitter can be distributed and pushed out to the different departments and units to spend the money that is going to be available for everybody. And that's actually money that was set aside from FY25 and from the FY26 budget. So I'm anticipating a much larger SBIR pool. There's a whole bunch of cool programs that are coming with that new SBIR authorization. The SBIR program is now reauthorized for 5 years, which means the team that administers SBIR inside the government will be able to focus on making the program better. They're not going to be focused on reauthorization right away, which is what has happened the last couple times because it's been such a short reauthorization cycle. I'm very confident you're going to see a reshaping of DSIP, which is well overdue. Everyone knows the portal that you use to submit your SBIR stuff into is not the best. And I'm very optimistic that it's going to get significantly better over time. You might even see some AI come into play there. So I'm really optimistic what the OSD SBIR Sitter office is going to do with that program and also with all the new rules they get. So they can do really a strategic SBIR now, which is a much higher dollar value SBIR than what they could do in the past. And that's new authorization. You're still going to see the TACFIs and STRATFIs that were done, the Catalyst programs out of the Army, each one of these sequential phase 2 programs where you're seeing larger chunks of money flow onto SBIRs themselves. It's good for everybody around. So make sure you're looking in SAM.gov for the opportunities as they post. Those SBIR opportunities are finally opening up right now. Get your applications in. I say this with love and a little bit of sorrow in my voice, but SBIR is one of those things that there's so many companies that apply. It is effectively a lottery ticket and a bit of a crapshoot whether or not you're going to get in. If you apply and you don't get in, don't take that as a rejection that your stuff isn't very good. There's a lot of reasons why that, it's kind of a crapshoot and maybe a little inconsistent on how the quality companies that get in through the program, but you've got to have a lottery ticket to win lottery. So you have to apply to every single one of these. I think it's critical to get your applications in, get your submissions in. There'll be different types of requirements for each one in terms of how they want you to apply. Some of them will require you to go get letters of support. Other ones might be a video submission. There are a variety of different ways and things they're going to require from you. But at the end of the day, you have to get your proposals in for SBIR to have any chance of winning a SBIR. Once you have that first SBIR, doesn't matter if it's a phase 1 or phase 2, you've just baked yourself in a direct acquisition authority, an ability to go right into a phase 3 using unit funds or some other type of funding. You can read or watch my other videos to see other types of funding that I recommend using to get onto SBIR phase 3s. But there's a lot of opportunity out there. You have to apply, you have to get in, and now SBIR's fully reauthorized. So thank you, Congress. Thank you, President Trump, for not vetoing the bill. And let's get this thing going. So please drop comments below if you are applying for SBIRs, you're doing anything with the SBIR program, you're excited about the new rules around SBIR. Like, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to see more of you. All right, talk to you later. Bye.